Greetings, and welcome to Earthling Cinema. I am your host, Garyx Wormuloid. This week's artifact is The Prestige, starring Huey Lewis and The Newsy, and directed by neither one of them. The film tells the story of Angier and Borden, two Earth shamans who become rivals over a simple misunderstanding about whether Angier's wife should be alive or not. They take turns injuring each other's frail, mortal bodies and snooping in each other's diaries for hot smut. When Angier finds out Borden has a new incantation called the Trans Man, he becomes obsessed with finding out how it all works, without, sticking his foot in his mouth. He tries using a double he conveniently finds wandering around 10 feet outside the building, but the double soon finds he has more of a passion for trapeze. So Angier kidnaps Fallon, Borden's assistant who never speaks and whose face we never see clearly, somehow without ever looking at his face or talking to him. Borden relents and gives him a clue, the Tesla Model 3. So Angier drives his affordable yet stylish electric car across the ocean to America to find Nikola Tesla and bully him into building a transmogrification machine. Angier successfully uses the machine and becomes the biggest hippo on campus, and that makes Borden a very sad hippo. A very sad hippo indeed. Michael Caine is in this movie, in case that wasn't clear. Borden sneaks backstage to investigate, only to find Angier stupidly drowning in a water tank like some sort of non-amphibious mammal. Borden is arrested and found guilty by reason of proximity.
You will be hanged by the neck until dead.
Borden is murdered by the Earth government, and only after he's fully choked out does Sir Michael find out the Pepsi twist. Angier is still alive and kicking, with one of his feet at least.
You're still alive.
It seems Angier has been suiciding himself at the end of every performance, leaving behind a fresh-baked clone to live until the next one. Then, just as Angier is patting himself on the back, Borden shows up and performs his greatest trick, shooting him with a gun. Buy one Pepsi twist, get the second for half price. Borden is actually two twin brothers who would trade off being Borden and Fallon depending on who was having a better hair day. Angier bleeds out all his remaining blood, and Borden meets up with that double-crossing legend of stage and screen to retrieve his daughter, who is also a part of this. In The Prestige, shamanism is a metaphor for storytelling, which is a euphemism for talkies. At the start of the film, Cutter explains the structure of a magic trick.
Every magic trick consists of 3 parts.
This progression also reflects the 3-act structure that comprises the bulk of Hollywood features, even Beverly Hills Chihuahua. Act 1 is the pledge.
The magician shows you something ordinary, a deck of cards, a bird, or a man.
In the world of film, this translates to the introduction of characters and conflict, generally something to do with not having a date to dog prom. Act 2 is the turn.
The second act is called the turn. The magician takes the ordinary something and makes it do something extraordinary.
Which gets its name because Act 1 turns into Act 2. Act 2 introduces complications, in this case the advent of Borden's Trans Man trick, which ignites Angier's descent into non-binary open-mindedness.
It was the greatest magic trick I've ever seen.
The turn culminates when Angiers activates the machine, and the audience is left wondering when Batman is going to show up.
But here at the turn, I must leave you, Borden. Yes, you, Borden, sitting there in your cell, reading my diary, awaiting your death for my murder.
Act 3 is The Prestige, which coincidentally is also the name of the film. This is when the story gathers the narrative threads and ties them into a neat little bowflex, climaxing in a grand flourish. Significantly, this structure is explained by a man named Cutter, a term that references an editor's role in piecing a film together. Too bad our editors are pieces of unwavering professionalism. Who knows how to do his job? Just as a shaman distracts us with techniques like needlessly vulgar imagery or a needlessly attractive assistant,
Pretty assistant is the most effective form of misdirection.
the film diverts the audience from the twist even while dangling it right in front of our state-of-the-art ocular implants. The child guesses immediately that the birdcage trick used a twin.
Where's his brother?
Cutter even comes right out and states it.
It's a double that comes out at the end. It's the only way.
But the audience is so dazzled by showmanship and the advent of electricity that we are still gobsmacked when Borden finally explains.
A twin.
All of which goes to prove Cutter's theory. Whether watching a magic trick or a movie or a donkey show, the audience wants to be fooled, swept away by the narrative, so that we may be wowed at the end, because no one goes to a donkey show for the previews. For Earthling Cinema, I'm Garyx Wormuloid. Presto Disappearo.